Well, how's it going, YouTube? Just another day in paradise, right? That's what I thought. Well, today we are going to be replacing the upper control arms on this 2002 Trailblazer. Now, in a previous video, probably 2 videos back, you saw where I found out my upper control arms were bad on this Trailblazer, and you saw how bad the bushings were, so I decided to go ahead and replace them. I ordered these online off of eBay, off the dealer. Got both of them for, I think, about $40 free shipping. And here they are. Give you a nice look at them here. And is my camera all the way back? I think so. And there is what you get. You get the bolts for the ball joint, and there is the upper control arm, and you can see it's nice and sturdy. The bushings aren't dry rotted like my other one was there that I showed you in that previous video. So let's go ahead and get these on, and this will probably take care of my swaying that I had that I explained in a previous video. When you're driving and it feels like sometimes your vehicle's swaying a little bit in the front, it feels like you're being pushed off to the side, especially when you're changing lanes on uneven pavement. Hopefully this will take care of the problem and make everything feel like brand new again. So let's go ahead and get these on. Okay, now the first thing we got to do is go ahead and get the Trailblazer up in the air, jack it up in the front. And I got my jack stand there just in case something would slip. And let's go ahead and get the wheel off. Finish up here. And by the way, my lug nuts are 3/4 inch. Get the tire out of the way. Now the next step here that I do, and this is probably optional for you, I like to go ahead and take out the splash guard, because sometimes on these upper control arm, the bolts are hidden behind a little bit of the plastic here just on the edge, and you can see the back one. I can see the bolt fairly well right there, but this one here, part of the plastic is covering it up. So this plastic splash guard is basically held on by these little plastic retainers here, and I do have one bolt on this Trailblazer that was stuck right here where the mud flap was, and you got one more hidden retainer like this right here that you have to actually go up under the front here, and right up there you have to kind of pop that out to get this splash guard out. And I've already went ahead and done all the work to make the video just a little bit faster, and we're going to pull the splash guard out just like that, and we'll set it over there off to the side. Now, as you can see, by taking that splash guard out, I do have a little more room here, but let me tell you what, I don't know what engineers are thinking sometimes. They got this bolt right here in part of the body, so it's going to be a close call getting this bolt out. We'll probably have to get it out as far as we can and loosen this bolt up on this side over here, and get this bolt here off of the upper ball joint. And once we get that off, we'll probably have to take this bolt off first, get it clear out, because there seems to be a little more room right here to get this bolt out. Then we could probably just kind of rock this and wiggle it out of there. But yeah, that's some engineering there. Whoever thought of that probably got a pay raise. Not. So let's go ahead and get our ABS wire off here. Disconnect all this here real quick so we can get into some other things here real quick. And we got this one right here that we have to kind of pop off. Once we get that off, then we can pull this wire out of the way. Hopefully the sunlight isn't messing up the camera too bad out here. So we got that out of the way. Now my upper ball joints, I replaced these not long ago. I've got new nuts with them and bolts, but on this one here it's a 14mm, so yours might be a little bit different. So we'll go ahead and take this clear out. Try not to drop everything like I just did. Put everything together. And now we'll take our hammer and kind of tap up on this upper ball joint. It should come off pretty easy. Like I said, these are fairly new. And I actually greased them here, so when you put grease in here, this actually makes it come apart a little bit easier. And now we're ready to go ahead and take this control arm off. Okay, so on this bolt here on mine, these are 13/16 bolts. And what I usually do is set it up like this. Oops, let me back the camera up a little bit for you. Get a secondary wrench and go ahead and put it in here like this and break it loose. And surprisingly, they usually come loose pretty nicely. So what we're going to have to do is just back this out as far as we can until we get the bolt all the way out. And I don't know how well this is going to pick up because the sun today is just kind of giving me a hard time here with my camera. So there's the bolt. Okay, get this out here as far as we can. Like I said, whoever thought of this, I hope they kept their job for a week. Jeez. Alright, now I've just about got the bolt all the way out, but you can see it's hitting this body right here, the inner frame. So what you can do is get you a pipe like this or bar and put up under here like this. And let me pan the camera up so the camera will adjust. And bend this back a little bit like that. And this will give you enough room to go ahead and turn this bolt and probably get it all the way out. Let me see if this will work. Oh, okay, it worked. So I was able to get the bolt out. There we go. By just kind of bending this back, and you can just push it back down because these two holes right here that you see, this is where the clips go for the inner fender. All right, so we got that bolt out. All right, let's go ahead and break this one loose. Get our secondary wrench like that. I think you can see that, how I'm doing that. Let me hand back a little bit like that. 2 wrenches, and now we're ready to break this one loose. Oh, all right, there it goes. All right, it worked. Some of these use 21mm sockets, so wrenches. But this one here is the smaller bolt. And now we'll go ahead and take this all the way out. And I'm actually doing this, my part is just about here in the mail, so I wanted to kind of get ahead because it gets dark early this time of the year. So let's go ahead and get this all the way out. And one other tip, make sure you spray some oil on the inside here on the back side of this bolt where it comes out, because it will make it a lot easier to break free and get off if you live in the Northeast Rust Belt like I do. Alright, so we just about got this bolt out, and I'm hoping I can just turn it with my fingers. Nope, I guess not. So close. This is where the oil really helps to break it loose. There we go. And it's just enough clearance here to get this bolt out. I mean, we're calling probably 1/8 of an inch. And you might have to fight it a little bit. Let's see. All right, there it is. All right. Finally, there it is. And now we'll go ahead and pull it out. And there it is. And there's what's left of it. Not a whole lot. These bushings are in pretty bad shape, and if you can see right here where my thumb is, it's all rotted. It's actually coming apart, especially on this one right here. All right, so let's go ahead and get these on. So we'll go ahead and take our bolt and stick this in like this on this side. Try to get it started. It may take a few seconds to get everything lined up, but once you get it in there, it should go in fairly easy. All right, so we got that in. Now we're gonna get this bolt here and this one. All right, so I think we'll just go up there. This one the same way. Like I said, you might have to have a little patience, but it'll eventually go. Got a bolt on this side. Alright, I think we got it started there. Alright, I think you can see we got this one started. Sometimes you can get it started with your finger, but sometimes you have to get the wrench in here and start turning. And like I said, this inner fender is in the way, so you have to fight around that. Okay, this one is pretty tight. Now we'll give it a good snug here, but gotta be pretty tight. And that one's done. So let's do the front bolt. Now on this front bolt here, you may have to take a pair of pliers and get in here and kind of get that bolt started right there. To get it turned far enough inward where you can actually get your wrench on the head of it. Hopefully you can see that. You know, the lighting is a little tricky at her today, and now I should have enough room to put my wrench on there and go ahead and tighten it down like that. So the things you got to do, you know. Now since we got the other bolt just about ready to be tightened, let's go over here and back this bolt off a little bit, because what we got to do is go ahead and hook up the upper ball joint real quick. And this will just make it a little easier to move this control arm up and down, so we can center this ball joint back in here like this. And we'll take our hammer and kind of tap that down. And we're ready to put our new bolt in. And they sent me new ones, but I'm just going to reuse what I got because these are fairly new. They're the same bolts. And we'll go ahead and put this in. And go ahead and tighten it down. Alright, so that's good. And now we'll go back and tighten up our two main bolts. Recording, okay. Get a real good feel for it here. Go ahead and tighten it up really good. And we'll do the front one. Nice and tight. And on some vehicles, it might be a little different for torquing these down, so you might want to check what it calls for in inch-pounds. And basically, we're done with our control arm. And now, go ahead and hook up your ABS wire. Don't forget to hook this back up with a clip. And we have one that goes on the top right here. Unfortunately, I was unable to get mine off of the other one. It was dry rotted, so I'll get another one, and I'll hook this up here a little bit later. So basically now it's out with the old and in with the new. A nice upper control arm that will make this thing steer 100% better. So all we gotta do is put our inner fender on, put our wheel on, and hit the other side. I won't show you every step on the other side, but we'll look at it real quick as we wrap this video up, and hopefully this will help you guys out. So always check your upper control arm bushings, because a lot of times they may look good, but they do go bad more often than you would think. And I have a video online, about 2 videos back, on how to check them. So you might want to check that out. If you have swaying problems, maybe this will determine why you have that. All right, so we're on the passenger side, and you can see we got everything on there, and it's getting kind of late out here. I apologize, but you can see you got the new control arm on, got all the bolts tight. Do yourself a favor, put a lot of grease on those bolts because it makes it easier to get them started in there with your fingers if you can, because like I said, there's not a lot of room between that inner fender and that bolt right there. And all I have to do is go ahead and tighten up the ball joint, and we're done, and we'll take this thing for a ride. And lastly, before we end the video, don't forget your ABS wire, because if you don't hook these up, ice and snow will build up on these in the wintertime, and I've seen these get ripped right off, so be very careful about that. And like I said, I'll put that clip back on that here in a little bit. So, final step here, we'll go ahead and tighten this ball joint nut up. And we are done, so let's put the wheel on it and take it out and see how it feels. Okay, so everything seems to be pretty good. It's taking care of that issue I had. Now don't be surprised if you may have to do alignment afterwards, because if you have old suspension parts on the front of your vehicle, you try to do an alignment, well, when you put the new ones on, it's going to throw it out of alignment a little bit. So I may have to check my alignment, but other than that, everything seems to be okay. It seems like it's a little off now. Steering is just a little to the right, not much, but no big deal. So having said that, that's it, guys. Hopefully this will help you out in showing you how to change your upper control arm. So until my next video, I'll see you guys later.